Oh, you just got paid. For grand hits your account. For about 6 seconds, you're basically a millionaire. Then you open the pay stub. $2,900 is staring back at you. $1,100 gone. No note. No goodbye text. Your paycheck got mugged before you even met it. That $1,100 goes by a bunch of different names. By the end of this video, you're gonna recognize every single one of them walking around your life in disguise. Federal income tax gets blamed first, and hey, fair enough. The U.S. runs on a progressive system. The more you make, the higher the rate, but only on the chunk sitting in that bracket. IRS says rates go from 10% up to 37%. Nobody's actually handing over 37% of their whole check though. Sarah teaches middle school. Makes 65 grand a year. She's not losing 22% of everything she earns. Just the top slice gets hit that hard. Everything underneath gets taxed lighter first. It's less like one brutal gut punch and more like a sad little layered cake nobody ordered but everybody's stuck eating. Sitting right next to income tax, uninvited, never RSVP'd, payroll tax. Funds Social Security and Medicare. You're out 6.2% for Social Security, 1.45% for Medicare, employer matches it. Somewhere right now a nurse is wrapping up hour 12 of her shift, funding a retirement she won't touch for 30 years, and a Medicare system she's just hoping still exists whenever she gets there. Social Security was built in 1935 as a backup. A cushion. Not the whole mattress. But Social Security Administration numbers show almost 40% of retirees today lean on it for most of their income. The backup plan quietly became the actual plan. Nobody sent a memo about that switch. Throw state taxes in, and suddenly it's a geography lottery. Josh drives freight from Texas to California for work. Cross one state line, his paycheck changes personality completely. Texas, 0 state income tax. California, north of 13% at the top. Same guy. Same truck. Same exhausting job. Completely different math depending which side of a road sign he's parked on. And we haven't even gotten to sales tax. Sarah is standing at the Walmart checkout, card half full, card already tapping. Every single item rings up with a little extra stapled on. Rates bounce around by state and city, averaging about 7% nationally. Feels like nothing on one receipt. Stack that across a full year. Groceries, gas, birthday gifts, phone chargers you keep somehow losing, and it's real money that quietly slipped out the back door. Then, there's the tax nobody brings up at dinner. Gas tax. Every gallon includes 18.4 cents federal, plus whatever your state tax on. You're not just buying fuel. You're paying rent to the highway. And the IRS definitely isn't sending a thank you card for that one. This is where hidden taxes start multiplying like gremlins after midnight. Send taxes on booze and cigarettes. Tolls. Airport fees. Convenience fees. That are convenient for absolutely nobody except whoever's collecting them. None of it lands like one big punch. It's just quiet little nibbles, over and over forever. You don't notice taxes because they were built not to be noticed. Property tax gets its own spotlight. Josh and Sarah finally buy their first house. White picket fence, mortgage, the whole postcard. But that house isn't fully theirs, not really. Skip property tax long enough, and the county slaps a lien right on it. You own the house, until property tax shows up to remind you who the actual landlord is. Everything so far mostly hits people who work for their money. Wages, groceries, gas tanks, front doors. But there's a whole different tax universe running above all that, and it plays by different rules entirely. Capital gains tax. Money made from investments, not sweat. Hold something over a year before you sell it. Federal rate tops out at 20%. Lower than the top income bracket. So a small business owner grinding 60-hour weeks might hand over a bigger slice than an investor makes selling stock from a beach chair, pina colada in hand, not breaking a sweat. Not corruption. Just design. The system rewards money that's already invested over money that's still being earned one shift at a time. And that design is exactly where legal tax loopholes live. Loophole doesn't mean cheating. It means playing the game exactly as written, just really, really well. Real estate depreciation. Retirement account strategies. Business deductions that'd make your accountant tear up with joy. The wealthy usually aren't breaking any laws. They're just paying people who read the fine print for a living, while the rest of us are still trying to remember what a W-2 even stands for. That's a big reason high earners often end up with a lower effective tax rate than upper middle class folks getting a regular paycheck. Not because they make less. Because where the money's coming from gets taxed completely differently. The IRS somehow always knows exactly where your paycheck is. Your Amazon package doesn't. Then, there's the tax nobody ever bills you for, but somehow still charges you every single day. Inflation. And older couples in the grocery store, same list they bought for 20 years, fixed pension, did everything right their whole lives. Cart's the same. Total isn't. Prices keep creeping up while their check stays exactly where it's always been. No form. No rate. No line item anywhere. Just less muscle behind the same dollar bill, quietly, every single year. Stack it all together. Federal tax, payroll tax, state tax, sales tax, property tax, gas tax, hidden fees, inflation mopping up whatever's left. Suddenly it makes total sense why so many hardworking Americans feel like they're sprinting on a treadmill somebody tilted uphill without telling them. Wages have gone up, sure. But housing, healthcare, and education have climbed even faster in a lot of places. Meanwhile, the stuff that actually builds wealth, real estate, stocks, keeps stacking up in the hands of people who already had money to invest with in the first place. Nobody wakes up broke overnight. It happens one deduction, one price hike, one missed opportunity at a time. So is the system actually broken? Not really. Broken things fail by accident. This one runs exactly the way it was built. It just wasn't built with a guy checking his bank app at a gas pump as the main character. It rewards owning things over earning things. Assets over paychecks. Patience over hustle. The system doesn't empty your wallet. It just quietly teaches you to expect an empty wallet, and after enough years, you stop even questioning it. Once you see that difference, the question changes. It's not, "Why can't I get ahead?" anymore. It's, "How do I start owning something, instead of renting my whole life away one paycheck at a time?" Because in this economy, the paycheck was never the finish line. It was always just the cover charge to get in the room. And somewhere out there tonight, Josh is filling up his tank, Sarah's closing out the register, and that older couple is putting groceries back because the total came in higher than they remembered. None of them did anything wrong. They just showed up to a game where somebody else already knew all the rules.